plan a check-cashing scam?
You signed her name. We're dealing with forgery.
But she made a crucial mistake.
My name is spelled incorrectly as well.
She was in there with me when I cashed her checks.
She didn't misspell her own name.
He handed her the cash, to her, not to me.
I don't believe you.
A case of theft with a twist.
She starts threatening me and talking about her friends. We're going to come by, drive by my house, and start shooting.
Judge Judy.
We're talking here serious business.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheinman. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy. 19-year-old student Valerie Ramirez is suing her aunt, assisted living aide Maria Ramirez, for stealing her state child care checks. Maria admits she cashed the checks, but says the money went back to Valerie.
Order. All rise. Right in the courtroom, please. All rise. Now, case number 525 when it comes in the matter of Ramirez versus Ramirez. Parties have been sworn in. Have a seat.
Miss Ramirez, the defendant is your aunt. And you and she worked out an arrangement where you would babysit for her. She was working at night. And you were to be paid with checks that she was receiving from the state because she was entitled to child care assistance. Is that right?
That's right.
You claimed that while she received a substantial amount of money every month, some $1,200 a month for child care, she gave you only a portion of that, and that she took your checks that were made out in your name, forged your name, cashed the checks, and gave you only a small amount. Your aunt says that's not true, that she was with you or you were with her whenever the checks were cashed, and she gave you the full amount. To add insult to injury, you claim that you received a W-2 form for your income tax, and you have to pay income tax on the full amount. Is that right?
Yeah.
When did you babysit for your cousins?
August, September, and November.
What happened to October?
Yeah, I have a check. It's for October. I'm sorry.
July, August, September, and October, those months.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see the checks that you have. How did you get your hands on copies of these checks?
I went to people that give her the assistance for babysitting.
And they gave you copies of the checks that were
Yes.
made out to you, and the backs of those checks on how they were endorsed.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, during the 4 months that you worked for your aunt, how much did she, in fact, pay you?
I got $500 each month for the first 3 months, and for the last month I got $150.
Did you report this to the police?
They didn't want to make a police report. They told me to go to a small claims court.
What police station did you go to?
Fresno Police Department.
Fresno police told you not to make a report?
They sent me away. They told me to go and fill out some forms to go to small claims court.
Well, you don't mind making a police report now, do you?
No, I
As
don't.
a matter of fact, if I continue to hear this case, one of the stipulations will be that you will make a police report with regard to forgery. Forgery is a felony. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you have no problem with making a report.
No, I don't.
Is that right?
Correct.
Even though if you make a report and it's a false report, that's also a felony.
I know.
You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
We understand each other? Kind of serious business. We're talking here serious business. Unless we get down to the truth of this matter right now.
I understand.
You got almost $2,000 for 3 months, checks that were made out to her. That was a lot of money.
All right.
Did you use any of that money?
No.
Are you telling me that you are still maintaining the position that she was with you when you cashed those checks and you gave her all this money?
She was
Be careful. Be careful what you say. Very careful. If we just say, Miss Ramirez, I made a mistake, then the whole thing goes away. Do you understand?
I understand.
May I make a comment? Assuming that I was present while cashing these checks with her, there would be no reason for a third-party signature on the check if I'm cashing it with an ID.
Absolutely right. Yeah, the same person signed both your name and her name.
Yes.
It's the same handwriting.
Mm-hmm. My name is spelled incorrectly as well, if you turn to the front of the check.
Yes, could have pointed. Put that to me, please.
My name is spelled V-A-L-E-R-I-E, and here it's spelled V-A-L-A-R-I-E. And on every check it's spelled wrong.
Valerie, spelled with an E. On the signature, it's an A.
Right. I see it. Spelled her name wrong.
Can I talk now? Okay, she was in there with me when I cashed her checks. Well, the reason why we went to the same place is because she said that she had misplaced her ID. There was no way, nobody was going to cash those checks for her, so I went to the store where they know me and where I cash my checks. So I went in there.
You signed her name. She didn't misspell her own name, madam.
But she was there.
She didn't misspell her own name. You signed her name. If she was with you, why would you have to sign her name?
Because the guy didn't know her and he wouldn't cash them for her. And
so instead, listen to me, listen how stupid that sounds. He doesn't know her. He lets you sign her name. That's okay. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds?
I also signed my name on all of them. If she
I know that.
I wouldn't have signed my name. And he handed her the cash. To her, not to me.
I don't believe you.
Well, here's his number and to his store. He was going to be here today, but he had...
I believe that a lot of things could have happened, including the fact that you gave him a couple of bucks for cashing these checks. But there isn't a question in my mind that she did not sign these checks, and you did. Not a question in my mind. You admit that.
Because I was the one that was up there signing, so he told me just write her name, so I wrote it in. And on top of it, she was suing me for $5,000. She went into the store asking him for $7,000.
May I make a comment?
Yes.
I did go to his store, and I spoke to him because I wanted to let him know that I knew that these checks were cashed there, and if he would admit to the fact to that, because the lawyer that I was talking to said if he admitted to it, it would be less worse for him, and he could countersue against her for forging them checks in his store. And also, I've done a third-party check before with my mom when my ID was misplaced. They asked me for my signature and my fingerprint and my mom's on the bottom. Never did they have my mom sign my name.
Listen to me. I understand that she forged your name to these checks, and the excuse she gives is ridiculous.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She starts threatening me and my kids, talking about her bulldog friends were going to come by, drive by my house, and start shooting. And then she told her...
money that belonged to her, Mrs. Ramirez.
And later today...
You put the keys in her hand. Or did you throw them at her?
I threw them at the floor.
When did you tell her where the car was?
I did. I told her.